Hi friends, I'm hoping that before you started the video, you and your family worked on the daily routine and then you listened to the audio about the basketball game and worked on your memory words prior to coming on to the video, okay? Um, what we're going to do this morning now is to go ahead and I'm going to hopefully share my screen first with the table of contents. And on the table of contents, you will see that the first selection that we're going to read in Unit 12 is called Play Ball. And I have a feeling that it picks up where we left off yesterday. Remember, Golly had chased the Superkids ball, and they had to go to the mall to get a new one. And while they were there, they came upon something that's going to be the basis for today's story. Before we begin, though, you're going to see that just like yesterday, sprinkled throughout this story, Play Ball, are some of those words that have the letters ALL that spell the sound all. And you have been studying these words in spelling as well. So the first word is ball. And the second word is where the Superkids were going, to the mall. Remember, they were going to the mall to get a new ball. And the next word is all. And this is kind of 2 for 1 because it's not only the letters ALL that are spelling the sound all, but they are also the letters ALL that spell the word all, meaning everything. Okay? Then if we go up here, the word is wall. All. And then we have all, tall. All, small. And then what the children hope to play is basketball. That's a compound word. It's made up of 2 words, basket and ball. A basketball is a ball that we shoot into a basket. Now, if you cover up the suffix ed, you have the word call. And when we add the suffix ed to the end of it, we have called. The action happened in the past because that suffix ed is at the end. Some story words are hawks. Now, these must be special hawks because they begin with a capital letter. So that means they're a particular hawk. We'll have to wait and see what that turns out to be. Shoot, that O in the middle, it says ooh. So it's oot, shoot. And we've come across this word before, into. Down at the bottom are the memory words for this unit. Come, coming, they, our, put. And if I go back up to my title, because remember, this is the table of contents and it tells us not just the title of the story, but where the story will begin. So the title of our story is Play Ball, and it begins on page 91. So if you want to go ahead and turn to page 91 while I pull up page 91 here on my screen. Okay. All right. And so we're going to begin you're going to follow along while the narrator reads the beginning of the selection, Play Ball. Oh, hold on a minute. There we go.
Play ball. The Superkids were having a good time at the shopping mall. First, they got a brand new basketball. Now, they were going to see the Superhawks. The basketball team was going to shoot some baskets outside the mall. I'm so glad the Superhawks are coming here, said Lily. It will be fun to see them play.
All right. Now, if you listen carefully, what you learned at the beginning of the story is that the Superhawks are playing basketball in the mall, and that the Superkids decide to go and watch them play. Now, something that I want you to remember is that a basketball fan is someone who likes watching basketball. Because remember, we learned another meaning for the word fan. It's a machine that blows air around. And that's not what they're talking about when they talk about a basketball fan. A basketball fan is someone who likes watching basketball. Okay, hold on just 1 minute. Let's go back one page.
Come on, said Cass. Let's all sit on this bench. We'll be close to the players. The Hawks are a super basketball team, said Hot Rod. I think that's why they're called the Super Hawks, said Lily, smiling. Here they come, said Sal. The team is starting to play.
Now, as I'm reading, I'm thinking to myself, why would Cass want the Super Kids to sit close to the Super Hawks? And I think, having been to a couple of basketball games in my time, that it might be so that they are able to see the players better. All right. And when I'm thinking about my characters, I ask myself too, because a good reader will stop and ask these questions. How are the Super Kids feeling about watching the Super Hawks play? And as I'm reading and I'm seeing all these exclamation points and I'm looking at the expressions on the children's faces, I'm thinking that they're excited and they're happy. And one of the other ways that I can tell as a good reader, because I'm looking at everything, the text and the pictures, one of the other ways is that I'm noticing that Cass has picked a bench that's close to the players. And another way is that Hot Rod says that they're a super team. And Sal speaks up when they start to play and sounds excited. All right. Let's see what happens next.
Number 2 passed the ball under the basket to number 4. Number 4 jumped up and tossed the ball into the basket. Swish! The Super Kids clapped and yelled. Then number 6 got the ball. He dribbled quickly past number 9 and shot a basket too. The kids all grinned. Way to go, Super Hawks! They hollered.
All right, now at the beginning of the story, the Super Kids are outside of the mall and they see an advertisement that lets them know that the Super Hawks are going to be playing basketball in the mall. Now we're in the middle of the story, so I stop and I ask myself, where are the Super Kids now? Where are they in the middle of the story? And I think the answer is that they're in the mall at the game. And then I ask myself, well, what's happening? And from the text and from the pictures, I can see that the players are shooting baskets. Okay. Then when I read number 2 passed the ball under the basket to number 4, I really wasn't sure what that sentence meant. Then I thought about how even some of our friends here at All Souls Catholic School who play basketball have numbers on their shirts. You guys even have numbers on your shirts when you play in your soccer team. In the picture, The player wearing the number 4 has the ball. Okay? I think the author is using the players' numbers instead of their names to tell what they are doing. That makes sense. Let's see what happens next in the game. They seem to be pretty good players.
Number 7 got the ball next. He ran and jumped way up with the ball in his hands. "He's trying to do a slam dunk," said Sal. But the ball did not go in the basket. Number 7 slammed the ball on the rim, and it popped out of his hands. Up, up, up it went.
Now, I know that all of you, especially you boys, probably understand what the author means by saying number 7 is trying to do a slam dunk. But just in case you don't, okay, what the author is trying to tell us is that he's jumping up and trying to slam the ball straight into the net, okay? Now, that sounds like a good plan, but I don't think it worked exactly as they thought it was going to, because number 7 accidentally slams the ball on the rim of the basketball hoop. And instead of the ball going straight down into the net, it pops out of his hand. Oh, that could cause a problem, I think.
The basketball sailed up over the top of a shop and the wall. It got stuck on top of the mall. Number 7 was hanging on to the rim, but then he fell.
Oh no, there's a big problem. The team has a big problem in the middle of the story. Okay, we know that in the middle of the story, the super kids are in the mall and they're watching this game. And the game has been pretty exciting up to this point, but we come to a problem in the middle of the story, and that is that the basketball flew up. It didn't go straight down into that basket the way that number 7 intended it to. Instead, it flew up and it stuck up on top of the mall. And what happened to number 7? Ooh, number 7 didn't fare too well either. He hangs from the rim and then he falls. And I think we're going to stop there today. And what I'm going to ask you to do, okay, is to go back to the beginning of the story. And I'm going to ask you to read from page 91 until page 95 on your own. You can go ahead and listen to the story once again if you wish, and then read it again with the narrator, and then read it on your own. But you should definitely read it at least 2 more times from page 91 until page 95. And when you have finished reading it at least 2 more times, there is a comprehension sheet for you to work on, to answer questions about what you've read so far in the story. Please remember that just as I mentioned yesterday, each of the questions that you are going to answer is worth 2 points, okay? 1 point will be for the correct answer. The second point will be answering in a complete sentence. And we know that that means that we are using the question to answer the question. So remember, take your time, think about what you're doing. Comprehension this year has been a little tricky for first grade. So if you are not sure, please go back into the text and look for your answer. I know you guys can do a great job. I saw a great improvement in the work that you all are turning into me this week. So let's try to get off on the right foot and continue along that way. I'll see you next time.